Hi friends! Today we're reading Prince Cinders by Babette. This is another version of Cinderella, and I want you, as we're reading this story together, to try to think of what's the same and what's different between Prince Cinders and the original version of Cinderella. Here we go, let's get started. Prince Cinders by Babette. Prince Cinders was not much of a prince. He was small, spotty, scruffy, and skinny. He had 3 big, hairy brothers who were always teasing him about his looks. Do you see how different he looks from his brothers? Very different, doesn't he? They spent their time going to the palace disco with princess girlfriends. They made poor Prince Cinders stay behind and clean up after them. When his work was done, he would sit by the fire and wish he was big and hairy like his brothers. One Saturday night, when he was washing the socks, a dirty fairy fell down the chimney. He looks really surprised to see that dirty fairy, doesn't he? "All your wishes shall be granted," cried the fairy. "Ziz, ziz, boom, tick-tack-ta, this empty can shall be a car. Biff, bang, bong, bo, 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 to the disco you shall go." "That can't be right," said the fairy. Do you see this tiny little car? Do you think that he will fit into this tiny car? Oh no, I don't think so. "Toe of rat and eye of newt, your rags will turn into a suit." "Drat!" thought the fairy. "I didn't mean a swimsuit. Your greatest wish I shall grant you. You shall be big and hairy too." So let's think, friends. The first spell she cast, trying to make this car, didn't go well, did it? The second spell she cast, trying to give him a suit, didn't go very well. Do you think that the spell to make him big and hairy is going to go well? Do you think it's going to go right? Let's find out. Oh my goodness. Prince Cinders got big and hairy all right. "Rats!" said the fairy. "Wrong again, but I'm sure it all wears off at midnight." Poor Prince Cinders. Prince Cinders didn't know he was a big hairy monkey, because that's the kind of spell it was. He thought he looked pretty good. So off he went to the disco. The car was too small to drive, but he made the best of it. Do you see him riding it like a rollerblade? But when he arrived at the Rock and Royal Bash, he was too big to fit through the door. Do you think he's going to get inside? I don't know if there's room for him. He decided to take the bus home. A pretty princess was waiting at the stop. Eek! How does she look about seeing him? Does she look like she's happy to see him? If she's screaming, eek, she must be very what? Scared. "When's the next bus?" he grunted. Luckily, midnight struck and Prince Cinders changed back into himself. Doing! The princess thought he had saved her by frightening away the big hairy monkey. "Wait!" she shouted, but Prince Cinders was too shy. He even lost his trousers in the rush. What are trousers? What's another word for trousers? Pants. He was so shy he ran away and his pants fell off. The princess was none other than the rich and beautiful Princess Lovelypenny. She put out a proclamation to find the owner of the trousers. "The Princess Lovelypenny decrees that she will marry whoever fits the trousers lost by the prince who saved her from being eaten by the big hairy monkey. Fitting sessions begin today. P.L. Princess Lovelypenny. Every prince for miles around tried to force the trousers on, but the trousers refused to fit any of them. Of course, Prince Cinders' brothers all fought to get into the trousers at once. Do you think 3 people can get into a pair of pants at one time? That's kind of silly, isn't it? They can't all fit all 6 of their legs into 2 little legs in a pair of trousers, can they? Let him try, commanded the princess, pointing at Cinders. They won't fit that little squirt, sneered his brothers. But they did. Princess Lovelypenny proposed immediately. So, Prince Cinders married Princess Lovelypenny and lived in luxury happily ever after. And Princess Lovelypenny had a word with the fairy about his big, hairy brothers. What do you think she's going to say to the fairy about the big, hairy brothers? What's going to happen to them? Whom she turned into house fairies, and they flitted around the palace doing the housework forever and ever. Do they look very happy about doing the housework? They don't, do they? And that's the story of Prince Cinders. Let's think for a moment, friends. Let's compare Prince Cinders to Cinderella. How are Prince Cinders and Cinderella different? Can you think of some ways that they're different? Think about the main character. Who's the main character of Prince Cinders? Prince Cinders, right? The title is named after him, right? Prince Cinders is our main character. How is Prince Cinders different than Cinderella? Prince Cinders is a boy and Cinderella is a girl. Prince Cinders has what? Brothers or sisters? Prince Cinders has brothers, and Cinderella has stepsisters. What else is different? What about this fairy? How is Prince Cinders' fairy different from Cinderella's fairy? Prince Cinders' fairy isn't very good at getting these spells correct, is she? She didn't get the car right. She put him in the wrong kind of suit. And when he wanted to be big and hairy like his brothers, she turned him into a big hairy monkey. But what about Cinderella's godmother? Cinderella's godmother was able to get all of the spells correct, wasn't she? She turned the pumpkin into a coach. She turned the mice into coachmen. She turned Cinderella's rags into a beautiful gown. Let's think about what's the same. What's the same? They both have main characters who are mistreated by their siblings, who want to go to the ball, right? They both have siblings. They both have a fairy who does magical things for them. They both have to be back by midnight or something happens and they leave something behind. Prince Cinders left behind a pair of trousers. What did Cinderella leave behind? Her glass slipper. And at the end, both of them live happily ever after with their prince or their princess. So while they're very different, they both have some things that are similar to each other too, don't they? I hope that you enjoyed reading Prince Cinders with me, and I hope that you tune in for our next story. Bye, friends.